Hello and welcome to Sew with Christine. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful pinafore dress with side pockets. So if this is what you're interested in, please watch this video to the end. Do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. So here's the fabric that I'll be using. This is a 2-yard fabric. I'm going to start by marking out the length of the lower part of this dress. The length of the lower part is 17 inches. Then I'm going to add 1 inch for the hem allowance. That gives 18 inches in total here. I'll just go ahead and rule the points together. Then on this line, I'm going to take the quarter waist measurements. This part that I'm working on is the front part. After taking down the waist measurement, I'm going to take the quarter of the hip measurement. Then at the hemline here, I'm just going to minus 1.5 inches from the quarter hip measurement and mark that here. Once I'm done taking all these measurements, I'll go ahead and connect these points together. So next I'm going to mark 1.5 inches for the seam allowance, and then I'm going to connect the points as well. Thereafter I'll go ahead and cut this off. The front part is ready. Next, we'll be drafting the back part. For the back part, I'm just going to mark the length of the back piece like so and rule these points. Then I'm going to mark out the hem allowance like so, which is 1 inch. Next is the contouring of this back piece. On the hemline here, I'm going to mark 1 inch. And on the waist area here, I'll also go in by 1 inch. Then from this waist area, I will draw a curve connecting that 1 inch to the hip area, then to the hemline. So once I'm done connecting, there'll be a curve there at the hip area. Next, I'm going to mark 1 inch. I'm going to start my measurement from the line that I have just drawn, that is the curve line. I'm going to measure out 1 inch. That will be my zipper allowance. Then from the zipper allowance line, I'm going to mark a quarter of the waist measurement, then add 1.5 inch for the seam allowance. I'll do the same at the hip area. I'm going to take the quarter hip measurement. I'll add the seam allowance as well. Then on the hemline, I'm going to minus 1.5 from the quarter hip measurement like I did at the front, and I'll mark that down there and also add 1.5 for the seam allowance. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and connect the points together. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to cut this out. So far, we are done with the lower part of this pinafore dress. This is the front and that is the back. Next is to cut out the front piece of the upper part, and this is a square. So I'm going to measure out 10 inches by 10 inches to get this. The actual measurement for this is 9 inches by 9 inches, but I'm using 10 inches because of seam. So the remaining 1 inch will be for the seam allowance. And I have my fabric on fold here. One will be for the main dress while the other one will be for the facing. How I got this measurement, I added 2 inches to the bust span measurement. So the bust span measurement is 7 and I added 2 inches, that gives 9 inches. Then for the length, I measured from the chest line to the waistline, and that gave 9 inches as well. Now that we are done with this, the next is to cut the straps for the back piece. So for this, I'm going to measure 1.5 inches and I need 6 straps in total. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut 6. So if you do not want yours to be in straps form, if you want yours to be just the way the front part looks like, then go ahead and keep it that way. So I've gone ahead to cut out 6 straps. The next is the waistband. The width of this waistband is 2.5 inches and I have the facing of the waistband here, which is also 2.5 inches. Since we have this ready, next we'll be working on the front piece strap. The width of these straps, I'm making use of 3.5 inches The same allowance has been included to this measurement. This strap is the one that is connected to the square at the front, and it's also connected to the straps at the back. So this links the square at the front to the straps at the back. I'll go ahead and cut 2 pieces of this for both shoulders. I'm done cutting this save for the pocket, so I'll quickly lay this out piece by piece so you understand what I have been explaining. So we have the lower part. This is the band, that's the waistband, and the square at the front, and these are the straps I was talking about earlier that connect to this square and would also connect to the back straps. The width, like I said, is 3.5 inches while the length is 10 inches. So I'm just going to measure at 10 inches and cut off the excess. If the shoulder strap is 10 inches and this square is 9 inches, altogether that is going to be 19 inches. But the front length for this dress is 16 inches. That means I have 3 inches extra. That 3 inches extra, I'm going to fold it towards the back. Reason is because I do not want those straps at the back to start from the shoulder exactly. I want these 3 inches to extend these 3 straps behind downward a little. Hope you get it. If you still don't get this explanation, you can ask your questions in the comments. Next, I'll be drafting the pockets for this pinafore dress. I've gone ahead to cut out the piece that I'll be using for the pockets. The length is 8 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance, that gives 10 inches. And the width for this pocket is 8 inches as well. Then I added 1 inch for the seam allowance. I have 2 pieces of this cut out for both sides of this dress. Next, I'm going to cut out what I'll be using to extend the sides and the base of this pocket. The width of this extension is 2 inches. And I'll be needing 2 of this, so I'll go ahead and cut this. After cutting the pocket extension, next is to cut the pocket cover or whatever this is called. I'm going to fold my fabric into 4 like so, and I'm just going to measure out the width of this pocket. Remember, we have this at 9 inches, so the length of this pocket cover would now be 9 inches. And the width is going to be 4 inches. So I'm just going to mark down 9 inches at the base and at the top here. After marking, I'll go ahead and cut this off. After cutting, I'm going to fold this pocket cover into 2 like so, and I'm going to measure from this edge. I'll come in by 1 inch, then use a curved line to connect this way. So just to help me eliminate the sharp edges there, I want the up to be rounded. So I'll go ahead and open up this pocket cover. One pocket will have 2, the other pocket will have 2. So one of these is for the facing. Here is the extension I mentioned earlier, that is the pocket extension. This will be sewn through the edges of this pocket. Now let's move to the front and back piece of the upper parts of this dress. I'm going to bring in 3 straps. Remember, we cut out 6 for the back, so 3 will be for one part of the shoulder, 3 will be for the other parts. So I'm just going to sandwich these 3 straps into this, and I'll go ahead and sew from this point through to the other end. So we have successfully connected the shoulder strap of the front piece to that of the back. So I'm going to notch the edges of this. After notching, I'll turn this inside out. Since this is ready, next is to connect this to the square part at the front. I'm just going to place both of the straps into the square like so, leaving out some allowance at the side. Then I'm going to place this other one over it. Then I'll take this to the machine and sew from this end to the other end. So I'm done sewing this. I'll just go ahead and turn this inside out. When this dress is worn, this is how it would look on the shoulder. This part would go to the back. It would not rest on the shoulder line. So this is what I want this dress to look like. What I mean is the part where the 3 straps joined the front strap would not be directly on the shoulder line. Let's quickly sew the pockets together. First of all, I'm going to pick the main pocket like so, and I'll notch the top of this and also notch the base as well, as I'm trying to get the midpoint of this piece. Once I'm done getting the midpoint, I'm going to hold in a small inverted pleat here of about ½ inch on both sides. I'm going to pleat from this edge of this piece towards the middle area, and I'm going to pleat from the other edge towards the middle notched area. Once I have achieved the inverted pleat here, I'll go ahead and pin it. Next, I'm going to bring in the pocket extension. I'm going to place it right side facing right side over this piece, and I'm going to sew along the edges. So what I have done for the first pocket, I will do for the second one like this. I'm also going to sew the pocket covers like so. Remember, each of these pocket cover has a facing to it. And here we have our pockets all sewn. So this is the first one, and if you see at the top part here, I went ahead to hold an inverted pleat there, and this is the pocket extension here. So on this one, I'll be showing you how I did the upper part of this pocket. So this is what I mean. Look at the inverted pleat at the top and look at the inverted pleat at the base. So at the top region here, I've notched the midpoint. So I'm just going to fold this into two. Then from the top here, I'm going to come down by 3 inches. Note that the allowance I left for this up area is 1.5 inches. So whatever allowance you leave for the top is what you are going to times by 2. Since I left 1.5 inches, I'm going to go down by 3 inches here. So I'm just going to rule a straight line. The width of this should be about 0.5 inch and the length is 3 inches. So I'm just going to pin along the line. Assuming we have sewn along the area that I just pinned, I'm going to turn this to the wrong side like so and press this sewn area flat. Okay, so we can achieve our inverted pleats. Once it has been pressed out flat, I'm going to fold the top of this pocket, and that will be all. I'll quickly sew the top part of this pocket. Once I'm done sewing, this is what it's going to look like. So when you're done with yours, your pocket should be looking exactly like this. The next thing is to join the sides of the lower parts of this dress. So I've gone ahead to open the front piece, and this is one part of the back, and here is the other part of the back piece. So placed this way, I'm going to sew the 1.5 inches that I added for the seam allowance from the top to the bottom. And here we have it all sewn out. Next, I'm going to introduce the pockets to this part of the dress. So I've gone ahead to sew the first pocket, and here is what it looks like. On this other side, I'll be showing you how I achieved the making of these pockets. This is the pocket cover, and that is the main pocket. Coming to this side, from the top here, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. That is from the waist region. I'll come down by 4 inches like so, and just connect this point with a straight line. So this is going to be the starting point of your pocket. Then from this line, I'm going to take the length of the pocket minus the extension, just the main pocket. I'm going to take that length and I'll mark it down. For this pocket, I have 8 inches. So I've gone ahead to mark down 8 inches. Then I'll fold the pocket into 2 and measure what I have here, minusing the extension, okay? So whatever I have here, I'm going to mark on both sides of this piece. After marking here, I'm going to fold this pocket again and measure the base. So whatever I have there, I'm going to mark down here as well. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to divide the length of my pockets. Since I have 8, so the midpoint will be 4. So I'm just going to mark 4 and measure the width of this pocket minusing the extension. The width I have here is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark down 4 inches on this side, and I'm going to mark down 4 inches on the other side. Once I'm done marking down all of these measurements, I'll go ahead and connect all the points together like so. Now that we are done with that, I'm just going to place the pocket directly over the line. I'm going to place the pocket and I will sew following the line. The line is going to be my guide. So at the edge here, for you not to encounter some kind of obstacle, you want to notch the edges. So I'll just go ahead and notch this edge. After notching this edge, I'll fold the other parts and also notch this edge as well. When you notch the edges of your pocket extension, it helps you stitch this over your dress effortlessly. This is how you're going to sew your pocket onto your dress. Just watch closely. You're going to use the line that you have drawn onto your dress as a guide and sew along that line. I'm done sewing the second pocket. So at the edge here, I'm just going to fold the extension inward on this side and also on the other side, and I'm just going to top stitch it. Now this is optional. If you want to do this, go ahead. If you do not want to do this, it's fine. After I top stitch the edges, I'm just going to sew my pocket cover. See the way it is. So I'm just going to sew this, and here we are. I've gone ahead to top stitch this edge a little, and as you can see, the pocket extension we added gave this pocket an extra volume. This is the pocket cover sewn to the main dress. I'll go ahead and reduce the seam. After reducing the seam, I'll take this back to the sewing machine and run a top stitch onto the pocket cover. And here we have our waistband. The first one is for the front piece and these other two are for the back piece. Then I'm going to bring in the waistband facing. On both the main waistband and on the facing, I will be sewing 1.5 inches on the sides. I'm done sewing the waistband, so I'm going to bring in the upper part of this dress. I'll fold my waistband into two to get the midpoint, and I'm just going to notch. Once I'm done notching the waistband, I'll fold this part into two as well and notch the midpoint. After notching, I'm going to place this upper front piece in between the main waistband and the facing, ensuring that the notch areas are all in position. I'll just go ahead and pin these areas to keep them in place. Afterwards, I'm going to measure from the center back here 1 inch inward, which is for the zipper allowance. Then from this 1 inch, I'm going to take 2 inches away from that place and mark that down. So this is another set of straps that I made, 6 also. The length of each of the strap is 10 inches. Next, I'll take one of the straps. I'll lift the facing of this waistband and secure the straps there with my pin. I'll do the same thing for the next strap. I'm going to secure this with a pin and repeat the same thing for the third strap on this place. Once I'm done with this side of the waistband, I'll do the same thing for the other side of the waistband. So when I'm done sewing, this is what we should have. I've gone ahead to sew my waistband to the back strap and the front piece. So I'm going to fold this waistband and notch the midpoints. Next, I'm going to merge the midpoint of this waistband to that of the lower part of this dress. Then I'm going to run a stitch from one end to the other. Once I'm done stitching this, note that I'm stitching to the facing. Now I will take the main waistband, fold it inward like so, and run a stitch on it. So this is it. Our pinafore dress is all set. So this is what the back looks like. I'll just go ahead and tie the straps. Then for the zipper, I'm going to bring these two ends together and I'm going to measure 7 inches for my zip. Then I will close from this end downward. After that, I'm going to hem the base of this dress. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.